Hello, everyone, and welcome to the March edition of Body Process Facilitator Call. This month, we are talking about the legend of El Dorado as by popular request or popular complaint, whichever you choose to see it as. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about the legend of El Dorado, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and pod, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. So the location for El Dorado is something that confuses lots of people. Just a side note, if ever you're reading a process and you don't understand it, whether the words don't make sense or the location doesn't make sense, I highly recommend running the body process. And if you're like, well, I want to get my hands in the right position, there is no right positions for body processes. There's just locations that we found, create the greatest possibility on the most people. It doesn't mean that you can put your hands anywhere on the body and run the body process. So this one, especially, people were like, well, I don't understand it. I'm like, just put your hands in the place where you think they go and run it and see if it changes as you run it more. So the location for back pains or organ pains is you'll have on the front side, like you'll basically go on the front side, upper shoulder to opposite hip, any direction, and on the back side from the shoulder blade to the opposite hip. So you're going to have one hand shoulder, and then the other hand goes on the opposite hip, and then vice versa. And then if you turn back around, you'll do the same thing, but instead of putting your hand on the top of the shoulder, you'll go shoulder blade to their hip. There you go. Easy. And then, or there's another way of running it. For elimination of human aging, you do occiput to sacrum. So one hand occiput, one hand sacrum. Good. Questions about that? Confusions? Anywhere on the hip, yes. Shoulder to hip. Ask the body where. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about the legend of El Dorado, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and pod, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So both sides on the front as well as the back, yes. Shoulder to opposite hip, back side, same thing. Is the hip where the actual joint goes in or the hip bone? I'm not sure what you mean by hip bone. You mean like your femur? Like the hip is the hips. Like, I think we all know where the hips are. Yes. Macarena. Yes, exactly. So pick. What does aging and pain have to do with El Dorado? That is a good question. So the body process came about because Gary was looking to contribute to a horse that is a bit older, and he was looking at what he could, contribute to the horse's body because it was in pain and it was aging. And he asked, and this is the energy he got. So that's how the process came about. And then he ran it on himself and realized it helped his body out too. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about the legend of El Dorado, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and pod, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And, keep in mind, El Dorado, like, at least the legend of El Dorado is about the Golden City. There's a city called El Dorado, which in Spanish literally means golden. Correct, translators? I looked that up, so I'm hoping that Google did not let me down. It means the golden. So the city is about gold. The legend is about finding it. They have a Disney movie, The Legend of El Dorado. Watch the Disney movie. Or they have, the city of El Dorado and lots of, either in Indiana Jones or the National Treasure Nicolas Cage movie too. They have El Dorado and lots of, yeah. It's also in the KGF movie KGF. Okay, I don't know what KGF is, but is that an Indian movie you're using?
Yes.
There you go. It's in lots of movies though, so I think all of you should understand what the Legend of El Dorado is in that respect. Yes, Francine.
Hi. I had a really nice experience with that one. And one point, I felt like this part of my head wanted to explode during I gave that process. And then I had a thought, oh, Kippa, circle of manifestation.
Yeah.
The next thought was, oh, the gold thread in the Kippa. So
Yeah.
my combination was, oh, El Dorado.
Cool.
Not to solidify that, but it was so funny.
No, that's awesome. That's really cool. You know, and like you said, it makes kind of sense because the circle of manifestation and what she's talking about is the Jewish people still do, but they used to in the old days, especially they would have golden thread that they would weave into their yarmulkes, and they would wear it right where the circle of manifestation is. So there you go. Very funny. Yes, other question. Someone has their hand raised.
Yeah, hi, Andrew.
Hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I ran the process and just following your voice that just go for it and don't even look for what it is, just experience the energies. So there are two things. One thing is I went from shoulder like this went and to the opposite hip, and from here I kept my hands there. So, and the back also I went from scapula to the hip, like cross, I made the crosses. So I mean, it was received well. I felt the energies very nicely. And I first session I ran it on my mother, and like she was having all those aging stuff, all the wrinkles and all, so many body pains and organ pains, in the sense IBS and severe abdominal pains. And so I thought that I will only do for the organ pains and stuff. But then when I completed that, I felt like I can go for the aging thing also. The moment I placed my hand on the occiput, there's a story I heard in childhood about a man who was thousands of years old, and he started becoming young with time, and that just came into the mind, and the energy started flowing more and more. So I didn't know what was that, but it just came. And after the session, I mean, within 3-4 hours, my mother was visibly wrinkleless, and she didn't have pain, and just one session. So that was the experience. But two things is, one is like I went like this, not just two hands, I made the cross. And the other is I had no clue about what the Legend of El Dorado is, or it is concerned with gold, or I didn't know anything. And then I searched, and basically it was a disappointment, city of gold, but the energy that I perceived was something else. So I mean, what to make of it, and it had no connection with that old story of childhood of a man getting younger. So we say we don't make it significant, whatever comes. So I mean, about the positions and that thing, anything you can say?
I think it's just great. I think just keep running the process, and is that just the awareness that you got from running the process? Like you said, it's not significant, but okay, cool. This is popping in my head when running this process. Then run the process again and see what happens. But lots of times when I run processes, all of a sudden I'll think of something, that like after a while I realize is related or kind of a similar energy, in what the process is.
Okay. And like I made it a lot of effort, when you place two hands, there was simple, just one hand here and the other here.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, so, like if we use two, like the energy can run between those 2 points. I mean, so but if you need to touch, like go cross, great. Like it's not, please realize the other thing is any of the processes, it's always about following the energy first. So maybe that's what was appropriate for your mother in that session. And then the next time you do it, it's not required. You follow the energy, listen to their body and go with that.
okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
It's me, it's Chrissy.
Hi, Christy.
Hello, how you be?
I was just looking for you on the screen. You were like, I'm like, where did
I'm
she go?
hiding. I'm here. Hi. Was it during the ABC with Grace in Rome that somebody was saying that Gary had a horse named El Dorado, and that's how this body process came about? Or was it me or 10 seconds ago, whatever?
I haven't heard that story. I just know it was from a horse that he was working on.
Yeah, from a horse.
He got it from a horse, but the horse's name wasn't El Dorado.
Ah, okay, great. So that's what it is. He had it from a horse he was working on, but then, okay, interesting, El Dorado. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then in the chat, someone asked questions. The new processes from Global Foundation. Does that also apply to other processes? I don't know what that means about applying to other processes.
Are those to be added to facilitate?
No, the new
those two?
processes from
Yeah.
Global Foundation are not going to be added as a BPF. If they do eventually get added, you will all be let know. But as of right now, they're just in the foundation class and advanced body class. I keep hearing about 12 new body processes. However, there's only 11 on the Ning. There's 12 new processes in the manual, but one of them is holographic mutation. It's holographic mutation, but holographic mutation on the bars points. And then there's holographic mutation on the immune points. So as you're a BPF, you might not be a bars facilitator, so we're not doing holographic mutation on the bars points as a teachable process, since you'd have to teach bars for anyone to do it. So that's why you're only seeing 11 on the Ning.
Hey, Andrea, sorry to
yes.
interrupt. So I have a question about the holographic mutation on the bars points. I mean,
Nope.
a few years.
Nope.
Sorry.
Next process next month is holographic mutation. We will talk about it then. I'm not doing this again where we're going to contaminate.
You want a question on reflexive realities? I got it. Yeah, thank you.
Well, other questions? Go ahead.
The question I wrote in the chat, I don't know if I understood it right or wrong. During the Global Foundation, when Gary introduced the 2 new processes, he said start with cellular memory.
I don't know how true that is. I'm seeing lots of head shakes. So I don't believe that's actually, I think you're mistaken in what he was saying. But
okay.
the processes he presented in Global Foundation don't have anything to do with cellular memory.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Where can I find videos about the body processes in the Ning? If you go to the Ning, there should be the past body processes listing. I don't know. Tanya, can you say the exact link? I don't remember where it is. Portuguese question. Does this process release the gas that was implanted in us on the golden planet? I don't know, run the process. I think it, like any body process, is going to change where your body was implanted and explanted. Holographic mutation on bars points will not be added to the bars manual. It's a body process. Is there going, I just answered that. There you go. Tanya just posted BPF replays on the BPF thing. It's in the chat. There you go. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about the a legend of El Dorado, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pug and pod, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And everything you're doing to be unwilling to be the vibration of, to allow you and your body to be the vibration of gold, will you revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pug and pod, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about the legend of El Dorado, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pug and pod, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Whew. Other questions? So all the can you run this on yourself? Yes, you can run it on yourself. You can always run the body processes on yourself, however you want. Touch yourself and say the name of the process. Really easy. Everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about the legend of El Dorado, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pug and pod, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds.
Andrew, somebody asked in the chat about how to access the videos of the body processes. Did I space out and you answered that?
It's right in the chat, right below it. There's a BPF replays on BPF name.
Okay, well, just to be more specific, if you go to the body process 1 sheets, folks, there's a PDF that you download that has links, and that's how you can get them.
There you go.
That's
There's
helpful.
multiple options. There's multiple ways to get to the replays of these calls. What if I run all the body processes on my body? Go ahead. See, I think that's a fuck around and find out scenario. Please ask your body. All of these things are about asking your body. So yes, you can run body processes on yourself. It's 1,000 times more effective to have someone else. And also, does your body want all of them at the same time? It's like try and eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner all at the same time. 1, it might not taste too great. 2, that's a lot of food. So truly, it's about asking your body what it requires and being willing to gift that energy, not just, I'm going to cram as much crap I can. You did it once and you nearly died. Okay, well, there you see. See, it is a fuck around and find out. You fucked around and now you found out. Chrissy, yes.
In the global facelift, when Shannon was saying that she was running the facelift on herself, and at some point, even after she propped up all her arms, her hands got tired, and so she basically ran the facelift on her tummy. So
Yeah.
there's certain positions where you go, okay, this might be a little bit whatever. So can you just, for example, hold your hand on your timers and say, running the body process of El Dorado, and then getting the energy to where somebody else would be holding them?
I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, there you go. You can.
Okay. Thank you. You're like my dad. He always said that too. Thanks, Dad.
Well, I mean, part of it is, find out what works for you and
Okay.
just ask that energy to run.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yes. Next question.
Hi. So it's similar to Chris' question. If I have someone who did not take that body process, I just can I ask him to put their hand on my body and I run the process?
No, that kind of defeats the point of having another person.
Oh,
You're like,
okay.
why don't you just run the, what I recommend is if you have someone that doesn't know the body process, run the body process on them first, and then have them run
Okay.
it on you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is it somehow this is the I heard that from one day body process facilitator. She says she perceive energy like it's unlike the betrayal or something like that about this body process. Does it have something like that?
I don't
She
know.
connected to the El Dorado and the legend of the El Dorado. There is a betrayal and something like that in the story. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Sure. Do you want me to mentally masturbate and then sling some crap on it? It's like, one, okay, but this, like, again, you're looking to define the body process. It's an energy. Okay, so
Oh.
what is this energy about? Well, it's about it, like, obviously there's a sense of gold, like the name of it is El Dorado, which means the golden. So there's this energy of gold involved with it. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then we know what the legend of El Dorado like is talking about. It's about a city of gold where everything is gold. So
Yeah.
there's like everything else is just adding to it. It's so okay. So what's one thing about gold? Well, it's timeless.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're looking
I
at
get it.
aging, gold doesn't tarnish, it doesn't really, that's why wedding bands are made of gold.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive from about the legend of El Dorado, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Can we run body processes on a person far away from us? No, body processes are like hands-on, so you need to be able to touch them. If you're doing distance stuff, that's distance stuff, but it's not access body processes. Yeah, so Emmanuel said, I love that it doesn't break down or diminish. Yeah, exactly. Like gold, it's not something that breaks down or diminishes and easily. Well, what if your body was like that? What if your body didn't break down or diminish easily? Also gold's very valuable. What if your body was golden? Would you have more value with it or less? So there's a sense of wealth with the process, obviously, because what if what if your body was golden? What if you lived in a golden city? Would that change your point of view on a lot of things? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about the legend of El Dorado, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And everything you're doing to be unwilling to be the vibration of gold, will you revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Other questions, complaints? Yes, go ahead, Aniko. You're still muted. You're still muted.
Thank you. So my question is still about the position. You said that I put my one hand on the shoulder and other on the hip, and then I change it. So I don't have to move the hand from the, okay, I just still hold on these places, yes. Okay, and I do it the same on the back, right?
Shoulder blade to hip, other shoulder blade to other hip.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and like I said, if you ever want to just, like, there's lots of people that had questions about that too, because in the book it says occiput to sacrum, and they're like, does that mean we have to go hands down from the spine to the, no, you don't have to, but when we say to, it means, you know, energetically, there's energy running from this hip to this, like from this shoulder to this hip. Does that mean your hands have to go there? No, but that's how the energy is running. It's going opposite shoulder, shoulder to opposite hip, shoulder to opposite hip. So it's kind of like that. Energetically, that's how you're running the energy with the body. Does that mean your hands have to actually touch all those places? No. But if you feel like it, go ahead, you know. Maybe it's what the body needs. Maybe it's what's required. Maybe moving that hands in the way that's, you know, assist in the energy moving in those directions easier.
Yeah, thank you.
So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about the legend of El Dorado, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, bovens, and beyonds. And all the presumptive realities and need of reactive realities keeping you refusing gold, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, poc and pod, all nine, shorts, boys, bovens, and beyonds. How many presumptive realities and need of reactive realities are you using to refuse the gold and golden life you could be choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. How many presumptive realities and need of reactive realities are you using to refuse the gold and golden life you could be choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Other questions, complaints? It's juicy. Yeah, well, gold is, you know, do you not like, does your body enjoy gold? Can we give out the new participant? Hello, can we give out new processes to our participants in the foundation class and handout? If you're a CF, there's an email that went out about that, and I would refer you to your email to read all of that, as it's not really something that's in the context of this call. There's a Russian question. Do we have Russian on live? Can they translate that? What is the connection of the body process to gold? El Dorado literally means golden. And Spanish, El Dorado in Spanish is the golden. Russian translation.
Yes, Andrew.
Hello.
She have sorry. She have done this process on her client, and she has she has said that it gives an energy of more greatness, and all her barriers were total lost.
Cool. How does it get any better than that? Okay. Oh, yes, Dr. Sarah. I was gonna ask if Spanish had questions. I was surprised. Andrew, I read the
No,
process.
actually, I translated with the translator the Russian comment, so I was just putting it there. For the first time, there's no questions in Spanish, but
Oh, okay. Ah, I see. Cool. All right. Other questions, concerns, complaints? So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about the legend of El Dorado, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shirts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And every time we say the legend of El Dorado, you start going crazy because anything with gold makes you go crazy. Will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. We talked about how the process got started on the start of the call quite a few times. So go back and listen to the start. Someone was asking in the chat about why it's called the Legend of El Dorado. Okay. Other questions, complaints? Are you guys all done already? Okay, so announcements. Let's see. Next month, we're going to be doing the holographic mutation body process, holographic mutation on the immune points. We'll also talk about holographic mutation on bars. If you have questions about that, we'll talk about holographic mutation in general. What else? What other things do we have coming up? I don't know what else. There's an advanced body class this weekend in India with Simone, if you haven't seen or know about it. So if you want to get to an advanced body class, there's that. There's also an advanced body class coming up with Simone in London in June. That's like June 18th, I think it is. And then those are the only 2 advanced body classes that are posted. Grace should be doing one this summer as well, somewhere on the North American or South American or Central American continent. What else? Tanya, is there any other announcements?
The body whispering.
Yes, there's a body whispering class at the ranch. April or March 31st or April 1st it starts with Dr. Dane here, and you can host a pop for that. I don't know if there's still time to do that, but you can do that. And people are texting me, yes, I have an SE extravaganza class coming up at the ranch in April 7th, 6th, I think it starts. And so if you're in the States or want to travel to the States and do that. And yes, also I have an SE for Bodies class in Vienna. Oh yeah, and I'm coming to Montreal in a week. Yay, Montreal 3-day body class. Wow, there's lots of things I can announce. I don't know when the Spanish version of the body whispering book is. Does anyone know that? Does anyone know anything about it? Okay. They're shaking. The people that know more than me are shaking their heads about it. So you'd have to probably check with the Access Publishing and see if they have a better idea. Cool. Anything else, Tanya?
Just that next month's call is tentatively April 20th. Same time.
There you go. Next month's call is tentatively April 20th, holographic mutation. And yes, Aniko.
I will have my first El Dorado class on Sunday this week, and I'm thinking about that we have two positions on two different topics. With the one is with age, and the other is with the aging. So I'm thinking about if I will get a question about this whole gold thing and opening the anything. So which position should I say that we should try if our topic is yes?
It's your class, choose. You can have the people, you can do it one of three ways. You can pick the first process and have everyone run that, the first location, or you could pick the second location and have everyone run that, or you could do the third option where you just tell people, choose one of these two and run it.
Yeah,
Whichever, works for you.
Okay. Yes.
The energy is going to be the same, just
Yeah.
the location will be different.
Okay, thank you.
Andrea, do you know when are the next abuse hold classes? I know it's with abuse class, but anything else in Europe?
Oh, thank you. So also coming up in April is the Clearing the Issues of Abuse with Gary, Dane, and Grace. It's going to be in Houston, and it's going to be live streamed all around the world. It starts April 14th. And yeah, there's going to be an abuse hold class, an abuse hold in that class if you're live in Houston, that you'll be able to have that. And then the next abuse hold right now is posted is in, there's a Japan ABC too. I forgot about that. There is another ABC with Grace in Tokyo, May 5th or 6th, I think it starts, or it starts the 6th. And then Grace also has an abuse hold class in the evening, May 7th. And then that's right now the only thing that's for the abuse hold. But do you need, and the abuse hold, we're looking at when Grace goes to Europe next time, we'll work on getting an abuse hold in for Europeans. Do you need an abuse hold class once a year to be able to give sessions? No, you do not. You just, once you have taken the abuse hold class, you have the ability to give abuse hold sessions. Yes, Dr. Gupta.
Yeah. Andrew, what are these body processes? While we are running a body process, what is actually happening? Are these dormant energies within the body that we are calling upon and they are getting activated, and once they get activated, whatever they do? Or it's like we are tapping into these energies which are present somewhere in some dimension, some universes, and we're just connecting with them, and just tapping into that creates some influence transformation. Because initially when I started with the processes running, I had this doubt or fear that, like in Reiki or other energy healings, that we are putting, calling upon energy from the universe and we are putting it into the person's thing, or like pranic healing, they are taking out some energy from the person and then you can be contaminated and you can take on the other person's thing. But some facilitator or practitioner, I don't remember whom, said that no, this is different because we are just touching and activating those energies which are already there. So there is no thing of that contamination sort of thing unless and until you have that point of view. So up till now it was fine, but with El Dorado coming, the question is coming again. What are we actually doing when we are running a process?
You're like, whether it's, so the body processes are looking at, like all things in accessing consciousness. So it's energies that, we're either looking at eliminating and eradicating or making the body immune to, or assisting the body in being able to receive, to be and receive. So which of those depends, kind of which ones of those are going on when we're running a body process depends on the energy of the body process. Obviously with elimination and eradication ones, we're looking at eliminating and eradicating certain energies. But with the Legend of El Dorado, we're looking at assisting the body in receiving and being that energy. and seeing, you know, and what that energy then facilitates for the body in being and receiving.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, everyone, that's it for this month. Next month we have, you know, in a little bit of a month, April 20th, we'll have the holographic mutation. So please, you know, play with holographic mutation if you haven't. I know it's been around a while and you guys might have already, but try it again, see if anything's different. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, translators. See you next month.